The hardest part, but the hardest part of not being a superhero. I mean, my daughter thought I was a superhero until about age 6. So about a year and a half removed from that.
I think she might be better at shooting rubber arrows than you. In fairness, she's had more practice with the fake arrows.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to her moderating my next panel. Part of the, and Cass will say this as well, for the people that weren't aware, I was doing a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, and it was right after Arrow had finished, and I hadn't really come to grips with it finishing, and I was in a little bit of I felt a little lost just in terms of my overall purpose and what was happening, and I was having real bad bouts of anxiety, and in the middle of the podcast that I was doing with him, I started sweating uncontrollably, and I thought I was dying, and I was having a panic attack, full panic attack, and that was in December, I believe, maybe November, December, and I went back after the Christmas break in January after listening to it, and I went and finished it to talk about what happened, and I haven't been having much trouble with anxiety since that time. But the thing that is sometimes difficult going out and meeting people is the stories that people want to tell you, because a lot of them are happy, a lot of them are sad. I was in Orlando last weekend, and I had 8 or 9 people come up to me because we had gone and done a show there to benefit a foundation that was set up for survivors, victims, families of the Pulse nightclub shooting. And so I probably had 8 or 9 people come up to me that maybe a couple were survivors, a couple people had lost people there, but all of them were there to say thank you and express gratitude for a very small part that I played to aid in that recovery. And I got to tell you, at the end of the day, that's sometimes a lot. Cass will tell you that after days like today, I usually take about 5-10 minutes by myself just to think about the people that I meet, or to think about questions like the one that you're asking me right now. And sometimes the weight of that is heavier than others. So I don't mean to get too introspective here, but sometimes that's a little bit difficult to deal with, because when people have watched you on a show and you become an important part of your life, but you've never met them, they come to you and you want to think to yourself, how can I be as present and available as possible for them, right? Because I can't imagine what it would be like to look up to someone that you've seen on your television for the better part of a decade, and then you go up to that person and they're a dick, right? That's a real tough thing. I'm sure I've done it, right? Not on purpose. I'm sure that I've been walking, or I've been with my family, or I've been out at dinner, and someone has come up and I've asked for privacy, and that person thinks that I'm an asshole. And I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about things that are out of my control, but I can put forth the best effort possible, and sometimes that takes a bit of a toll on me, but would I trade it? Not a chance. Thank you.
I think I speak for everybody. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's been incredibly difficult. I didn't handle the first part of the pandemic very well. We've been very fortunate that we haven't had anyone in our orbit. We've had a couple of people get sick, but everyone has recovered. But I had a job and a purpose all the time, every day for like a decade. And 2 days before I went to Georgia to shoot Eels, the world shut down, and it didn't shut down, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I didn't deal with it. I didn't deal with it particularly well. I didn't have anxiety, but I certainly had depression, and I found it to be incredibly challenging. And at the same time, you want to avoid doing the whole like, woe is me. I get to chill out every day and spend time with my family. And it's one of those things where you want to like grab yourself by the scruff of the neck, yank yourself up, and go, shut up. Just enjoy the time, which is an easy thing to say. It's not always the easiest thing to do. How have you been? Have you been okay?
Yeah, I've been doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's better now than it was in the beginning.
It is better. I mean, I think that we just, you know, in general, people need to adjust. I think that everyone in this audience right now, no one likes to wear a fucking mask, but at the same time, everyone, you know, follows the rules, and that allows us to have fun days like today. I mean, I typically don't do this many conventions, but I've been getting out there because I miss people, and I miss questions like I got about acting, and I don't know, I miss questions about the interview that I had with Michael Rosenbaum, and I miss giving back to people, and I think that human connection is clearly very important, because sitting alone with my wife and my daughter, you know, it should have been happy, and it was.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to say?
I just went an hour without sticking my foot in my mouth. But human connection is really important. So thanks for asking the question. I'm glad you're doing good, and thank you for coming out today.
I appreciate it.
My name is Holden, and what is your favorite hobby?
Favorite hobby?
Besides shooting arrows.
Besides shooting rubber arrows, we can see that you haven't done that very much.
Oh boy, my favorite hobby is really fun swim times with our kiddo. It's a nice way to wrap up.
That is a nice way to wrap up.
Thank you.